Hey, how's it going, everyone? Just back in with another live stream. I was just going to post a video on the sequence from Micah chapter 2. So I just thought I would do it, live in case there's any questions. Just having kind of a quiet day today. Probably won't play golf just to rest up my back and, just doing errands and stuff like that. But I came across this pulling up a precept yesterday, on my live stream. And then so I read the book again, Micah, and pretty much the whole book loops the sequence. And so, I didn't catch this one earlier, beginning in Micah 2, but onwards, like 6 and 7, I have those sequence videos already posted. So the entire book of Micah essentially is looping the sequence of the end times over and over again. So that's not new for people that come by here, but doesn't hurt to go over it. So beginning in Micah 2, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Okay. Job 9:24. So we're seeing that this is the prelude for the end times. And they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man in his house, even a man in his heritage. Okay. And so they're going to be involved in essentially not allowing people to know that they're God's children, in many, many ways. And this is one of the many ways that Christ is being spiritually crucified in the last days. Verse 3, therefore, thus saith the Lord, behold, against this family do I devise an evil, okay, from which ye shall not remove your necks, neither shall ye go haughtily, for this time is evil. Verse 4, in that day shall one take up a parable against you and lament with a doleful lamentation and say, we be utterly spoiled. He hath changed the portion of my people. How hath he removed it from me? Turning away, he hath divided our fields. Okay. And so we see that this oppression is prophesied in the last days. Verse 5, therefore shall have none that shall cast a cord by lot in the congregation of the Lord. Verse 6, prophesy ye not. So say they to them that prophesy, they shall not prophesy to them. They shall not take shame. Verse 7, O thou that art named the house of Jacob, is the spirit of the Lord straitened? Are these his doings? Do not my words do good to him that walketh uprightly? So this Bible is only good news for a very, very small group of people. That's in Micah 2:7. 2 times 7 is 14. Do not my words do good to him that walk uprightly? Okay, verse 8. Even of late my people is risen as an enemy. Ye pull off the robe with the garment from them that pass by securely as men averse from war. So now we're seeing that even the Israelites, the majority of them, God hates. Okay, and he's going to destroy them in a following chapter. Verse 9, the women of my people have ye cast out from their pleasant houses, from their children have ye taken away my glory forever. Verse 10, arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. Okay, so this is the reference to salvation in the last days. Arise ye and depart. Okay, arise, raised up, salvation, and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. It shall destroy you, even with a sore destruction. And so you have salvation, and right after salvation, you have, like it says here, it shall destroy you, even with a sore destruction, which is a coded reference. I wouldn't even say it's coded. It's a specific reference to the plagues in Revelation 16, okay, which the first one is sores, okay? So after the elect are taken away, 1 Thessalonians 5:9, then you have wrath right after, which is listed in Revelation 16, okay? And then we're going to have prophesying, by the two witnesses, and then the gospel preached. Verse 11, if a man walking in the spirit and falsehood do lie, saying, I will prophesy unto thee of wine and of strong drink, he shall even be the prophet of this people. Okay, but we have a coded reference here to prophesying, which is reference to the two witnesses. And so this is the time of the two witnesses, okay, during this 1260-day period. Now we get a reference to Christ returning with the elect, and we get that here. Verse 12, in Micah 2:12, you add that together, 14, or you multiply them, 24, 44. I will surely assemble, O Jacob, all of thee. I will surely gather the remnant of Israel. I'll put them together as the sheep of Bozrah. So now we have a reference to them together in the Middle East, okay, as the flock in the midst of their fold, okay. They shall make great noise by the reason of the multitude of them. Okay, so the precept for this is, 1 Thessalonians 3:13. And so 1 Thessalonians 3:13, to the end he may establish your hearts unblameable in holiness before God, even our Father, at the coming of the Lord Jesus Christ with all of his saints. Okay. And so that's happening here in Micah 2:12. I'll read it again. I will surely assemble, O Jacob, all of thee. Okay. I will surely gather the remnant of Israel. I'll put them together as the sheep of Bozrah, as the flock in the midst of their fold. They shall make great noise by the reason of the multitude of men. Okay. Verse 13, the breaker has come up before them. They have broken up and have passed through the gate and are gone out by it. And their king shall pass before them, and the Lord on the head of them. So Christ's going to be returning with the saints. Okay. With the elect to do this. Okay. Micah 3. Micah 3 is now talking about the destruction of the three shepherds. Okay. And I'll get the precept for that. So again, the sequence holds here and everywhere. That you have salvation, then you have destruction, then you have Christ returning with the elect to destroy God's entire left-hand side. So Micah 3 verse 1. And I said, hear, I pray you, O heads of Jacob, and ye princes of the house of Israel, is it not for you to know judgment? Who hate the good and love the evil, who pluck off their skin from off them and their flesh from off their bones. So during this time of wrath, okay, which is what this is going to be describing, a lot of God's people are going to be destroyed and killed, body and soul. A lot of Israelites, people masquerading around as, truthers and apostles and deacons and all that kind of stuff. So it says here, who hate the good and love the evil, who pluck off their skin from off of them and their flesh from off their bones. So they're literally like working people to the bone. Okay. And then exploiting them. Verse 3, who also eat the flesh of my people and flay their skin from off of them, and they break their bones and chop them in pieces as for the pot, and as the flesh within the cauldron. Verse 4, then shall they cry unto the Lord, but he will not hear them. He will even hide his face from them at the time, as they have behaved themselves ill in their doings. Thus saith the Lord concerning the prophets that make my people err, that bite with their teeth and cry, peace, and that be putteth not into their mouths. They even prepare war against him. Okay. And so this is when the entire earth is literally going to fight against God. Okay. Like it says here, they even prepare war against him. So a majority of Israelites on this earth are sellouts, okay, and liars and actors. And so they're going to be part of this final battle of the earth, God's left-hand side versus Christ and the angels and the elect. Verse 6, therefore night shall be unto you, that you shall not have a vision, and it shall be dark unto you. Now it's talking about darkness. That you shall not divine, and the sun shall not go down over the prophets, and the day shall be dark over them. Okay, they're going to be, the entire sky is going to be covered again with UFOs. Verse 7, then shall the seers be ashamed and the diviners confounded. Yea, they shall all cover their lips, for there is no answer of God. Okay, it's too late at this point because this is happening. Verse 8, but truly I am full of power by the Spirit of the Lord, and of judgment and of might, to declare unto Jacob his transgression, and to sin, and to Israel his sin. So a majority of Israelites are going to get destroyed, okay, in the wrath of God. Verse 9, hear this, I pray you, ye heads of the house of Jacob, and princes of the house of Israel, that abhor judgment and pervert all equity. Okay, and so they're just liars, okay, and scammers. Verse 10, they build up Zion with blood and Jerusalem with iniquity. The heads thereof judge for reward, and the priests thereof teach for hire. Okay, money this, PayPal this, hit up my Cash App and all that. Let me read this again. The heads thereof judge for reward, and the priests thereof teach for hire, and the prophets thereof divine for money. Yet they will lean upon the Lord and say, is not the Lord among us? None evil can come upon us. Okay, so once you make the truth about money in any way, it becomes fraudulent. Okay, and this is in Micah 3:11-33. Okay, that's the way this world operates. Okay, hit up my Patreon and all that. Verse 12, therefore shall Jerusalem for your sake be plowed as a field, and Jerusalem shall become heaps, and the mountains of the house as the high places of the forest. Okay. And so this is talking about the destruction in the Middle East, beginning in the Battle of Armageddon. And so Jerusalem, the city, will actually be destroyed. Okay. And then prepared for the kingdom, because this fire is coming to the whole earth. Okay. Starting with America. So just know that God is this angry at his own people, okay, who are falsely prophesying. And so this is talking about the precept for this is, I'll get this here. Zechariah 11:8. Okay. 3 shepherds also I cut off in 1 month. Okay. And my soul loathed them, and their soul also abhorred me. And so this 30-day period is the wrath of God. Okay. Where Christ is returning with his angels, and then he's going to be destroying his entire left-hand side, which includes a lot of Israelites. So just to rehash the sequence, we have a time of evil being described at the beginning of Micah. And then we go on to near the end of it. It says, in verse 10, arise ye and depart. Okay, so that's salvation. Then we have destruction, and it says a sore destruction. Okay, if you read Revelation 16:2, that's talking about the sores, okay, which is the wrath of God. I'll read that just for completeness. Revelation 16:2, and the first went out. Okay, this is the first angel administering the wrath of God, and poured out his vial upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men which had the mark of the beast, and upon them which worshipped his image. So now we have the wrath of God, okay, a reference to that. And then if we keep going, it says, I will surely assemble Jacob, all of thee. I will surely gather the remnant of Israel, put them together as the sheep of Bozrah, as the flock in the midst of their fold, and shall make great noise by reason of the multitude of men. And so this is when the mixed multitude, or the multitude of people, are fighting against God. Okay, this is why it says, and they shall make great noise by the reason of the multitude of men. And I'll get that in 2nd Ezra. So 13:34. This is the battle of Armageddon. And I saw an innumerable multitude shall be gathered together as thou sawest them, willing to come and to overcome him by fighting. And a group of those are going to be Israelites, okay, that hate God, and then he's going to destroy them. And so now we have a reference to Christ returning, okay, with his elect. And then in verse 13 it says, and their king shall pass before them, and the Lord on the head of them. So Christ will be with them. Then Micah 2 talks about the 3 shepherds, okay, and then it's literally in 3 sections, talking about these structures that God's going to destroy, okay, and then there's the kingdom, okay, and that's in Micah 4. But in the last days it shall come to pass that the mountain of house of Israel shall be established in the top of the mountain, and it shall be exalted above the hills, and people shall flow unto it. Okay. Verse 2, and many nations shall come and say, come, and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, and to the house of the God of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths, for the law shall go forth of Zion. Okay. And the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. And so this is the time of Christ ruling on earth. Okay. And he's going to be ruling, okay, and there's not going to be any wiggle room kind of thing. And it says here, the law shall go forth of Zion, which is his elect. Okay, they're going to have the law written in their inward parts. Okay, which the precept for that is Jeremiah 31. And there's many precepts for this, but this is the one that I quote the most, I think. Jeremiah 31, 33. But this shall be the covenant that I'll make with the house of Israel. After those days, saith the Lord, I'll put my law in their inward part, and write it in their hearts, and will be their God, and they shall be my people. And they shall teach no more every man his neighbor, and every man his brother, saying, know the Lord, for they shall all know me. Okay, from the least of them unto the greatest of them, saith the Lord, for I will forgive their iniquity, and I'll remember their sin no more. Okay, so that's what it means when it says the law will go forth from Zion. Hey, Mike, good to see you, man. What's up? Okay. Verse 4, 2. Okay. And many nations shall come and say, come, let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, and to the house of the God of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways. Okay. Not Biden's ways or Putin's ways or any like Tahar, Ken Hoven's ways. And he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For the law shall go forth of Zion, which I just read, and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. Verse 3, and he shall judge among many people, okay, and rebuke strong nations afar off. This is the mixed multitude. And they shall beat their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up a sword against nation. There's not going to be any fighting, okay? Neither shall they learn war anymore. So no one's beating anybody over the head like these baboons teach, and the black Hebrew Israelites, a bunch of dummies. Verse 4, but they shall sit every man under his vine and under his fig tree, and none shall make them afraid. So how does that work if you're afraid of getting beaten over the head? So These people are monsters, okay, that are teaching the Bible. Everybody except me that I see teaching the Bible is completely mental. Okay, prove me wrong. Micah 4:4. Let me read this again. But they shall sit every man under his vine and under his fig tree, and none shall make them afraid. So, for the mouth of the Lord of the hosts hath spoken it. Verse 5, for all people will walk every one in the name of his God, and we will walk in the name of the Lord our God forever and ever. Okay. And so these other nations still have an element of free will. They can decide to come to the celebrations and the Passovers and all that or not. And so that's what we're seeing here. But the elect who have the law written on the inward parts, they're going to be walking in the name of the Lord forever and ever. It's permanent. Okay. Verse 6, in that day, saith the Lord, will I assemble her that halteth, and I'll gather her that is driven out, and her that I have afflicted. Okay. And so God has done that. Okay. Made people blind and lame and all that. So God's going to be healing them in this time. Verse 7, and I'll make her that halteth a remnant, and let her that was cast far off a strong nation. So all the outcasts and all that, he's going to bring them together, and then he's going to make them leaders. The last is going to be first. And the Lord shall reign over them in Mount Zion from henceforth even forever. Okay. So there's no like the Satan's going to be loose for another 1,000 years, like some of you retards teach, dumbos. Don't know what the hell's going on. Okay, it says here, and the Lord shall reign over them in Mount Zion from henceforth even forever. Okay, so there's no 1,000 years of after this, and then Satan's going to be loosed. People don't understand those 1,000 years in Revelation 20 are two different time periods. Okay, people are just totally lost. Verse 8, and now, O tower of the flock, the stronghold of the daughter of Zion, unto thee shall it come, even the first dominion, the kingdom shall come to the daughter of Jerusalem. Okay. Now, why dost thou cry out loud? Is there no king in thee? Is thy counselor perished? For pangs have taken thee as a woman in travail. Okay, so then you'll see that it loops again. Okay, and then you'll notice that I have videos of Micah looping the sequence again, in the later chapters 5, 6, and 7. So it's the same deal, and it's amazing to me that without that, you won't be able to make sense of the Bible. You'll just be making up things, and you'll be cherry picking and saying, oh no, look at what's this and all that. You won't understand the order of events that need to happen. And so, I mean, you could cherry pick the Bible and basically make up whatever narrative you want ultimately, but this is the mystery, okay, that I was talking about yesterday when I was reading Ephesians. And so without it, the Bible won't make sense. So Micah 2-4 reaffirm the sequence of the end times. It's amazing. So I don't know how many I have now, like 230 or so. So, it's, we're just waiting for that to happen. So that's all I got. Hey man, I always like the sequence videos. It's cool how you found the end times thing. Yeah. LOP, what's up, man? So, it's the code, it's the pattern. And so, it's amazing, that's the mystery. Okay. That's now been revealed, that it's the same language that God's been putting in the mouths of his prophets and his people. And, now we see it. Okay. And then now this is what we're waiting for to actually occur. And, it's very, very clear that we're on the precipice of it because of the mark of the beast. Okay. Because none of these things can happen unless God begins at least to fulfill Revelation 13. And so that's why, again, these words are, can essentially begin to happen any day. And so, my channel is proof that the elect are sealed because they would obviously know what I know or more, preferably. And so that's happened already. And then the next thing that we're waiting for is salvation. So, we'll see if that occurs, and that has to occur for the Bible to be true and for any of these sequence videos to hold. So it just shows my backup channel has all my sequence videos summarized. And so, that cannot be true, which is essentially the whole Bible and the Apocrypha, unless a salvation event occurs. And that's why I know people like Mike and all that, they don't go into the numerology. They just think it's dumb, or they don't understand it, because that also is proof that there's patterns, and then there's codes. And then it proves that the New Testament is divine, okay, and Revelation, because the numbering sequence and rules are all the same. And so that alone proves that it's divine. So yeah, I understand why people make fun of it. They're like, it's stupid. And like it's not, what's all that kind of stuff. And it's like, well, that's what those are patterns in the Bible. That's part of the mystery. Okay. And so if people are mocking that, you're not mocking me because I don't care what your opinion is, but you're mocking God. Okay. And then people, their job is to, like Mike, for example, his job is to discredit the New Testament, which is a stupid job to have in the time that we live in now, because it's literally coming true right before our very eyes. But, it doesn't surprise me, that people do that. So anyway, hope everyone's doing well. Take care. Bye.